I'm a believer that you don't pick tattooing, tattooing picks you. And you get brought into this mess of a world because of who you are, and tattooing lets you stay in it. I remember being 9 years old and looking at some biker's forearm, and it was a stylistically done, cartoonish tiger. I had an opinion, and I felt that it shouldn't be so cartoony and it should be detailed. And that's like a young child's state of mind, right? You don't understand the rules of tattooing. So that was some of my first influence. I started working at a shop when I was 17, actually not too far from here. I didn't really tattoo at that point because I didn't like people. I didn't like talking to people. I definitely didn't like touching people, and I hated blood. So it took a little bit to get over that, which tattooing's brought me out to be a better person. I semi-professionally started tattooing after working in a shop for 4 years at a shop that's no longer in town. So right here in Calgary, I started tattooing. My current style is subjective to my clients, and I grew up in the gaps of tattooing. You tattooed what you could tattoo when you could tattoo it. Like, I wanted to be a traditional tattoo artist when I was coming up. I look up to, like Mike Malone, Ed Hardy, a lot of other tattooers that kind of follow under that same principle. And I like those tattoos that, generally have a brighter, positive feel to it. But if I wanted to pay my bills, that shit wasn't gonna happen. And really, I'm glad it didn't happen because it made me the tattooer who I am today. So an honest tattooer would be like, hey, I just don't think that's gonna fit on your forearm properly. Why? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. I want you to know as much as I know, and then from there you can make an educated decision with me, not to have it on my side because I just want to win and get it my way. After I've educated you on why it should be like this, then you know as much as I know, then you can see what I'm trying to tell you. Hoping that your clients are just as honest as you are will fast track the shortcut to a better tattoo within seconds. So I quit where I was working because I didn't like the person and what they were about and doing, so I went on my own. I had a dream that our clients could feel comfortable, safe, get the tattoos they want for the price they want, in an environment that's unpretentious, no judgment, and feel like they can walk around with their shirt off and be fine. I wanted to give them what they deserve, and also myself and my artists that work here what they deserve. So I did the best that I could with Dylan, my business partner, and we opened this place up. It was high risk, high reward.
People ask me, what got me into art, and as far back as I can remember, I was drawing on the walls as a kid, drawing on the desks in school, and somehow that turned into drawing on people for a living. So, my name's Dylan Burcombe, born Calgary, Alberta. Been tattooing for 20 years now. I had buddies that were a bit older getting tattooed. Mind you, not very good tattoos, but it was a cultural thing. Definitely kind of drew me in. I met Darren when I was 16 years old. That actually helped open up a lot of doors for me in regards to the career path that I'm on. I first started tattooing at a shop actually across the street here called Immaculate Concept. Yeah, back when I was like. I started working there 17, 18, started tattooing around 19. Worked with quite a few people at that first shop, so I was kind of picking up things here and there. And just exposure through, back when I started, it kind of seems weird to say, but magazines and shit, this was kind of, pre-social media. So, I'd be hunting down that, tattoo time or whatever the hell at a gas station, flipping through it just to see maybe one or two cool tattoos and studying them, and just trying to absorb what you could where you could before, everything kind of blew up, and now it's really accessible. You can see cool tattoos in seconds on your phone. So,
how would you describe your style at the moment?
I've always tried to focus on doing a little bit of everything, especially starting out in the street shop. You kind of had to cut your teeth and, be adaptable. At the end of the day, if somebody walks in the shop, it should be, I was kind of taught to be ready to tattoo anything, try and stay well versed, be it, fine line script, black and gray, tribal, traditional. I'm pretty stoked to do it all and to this day. It's definitely rooted in, traditional-ish, modernized traditional.
Yeah.
not neo-trad, I don't know what you'd call it, you know, tattoos that look like tattoos. Yeah.
You've been tattooing for 20 years.
Yeah.
How has seeing your tattoos age or come back change how you apply them now?
Hugely. Yeah, you learn a lot by seeing where you kind of, I don't want to say fucked up, but, you know, maybe where you weren't focusing enough out of the gate, just out of, you know, being novice from a technical aspect, or, you know, even the composition of a drawing. So yeah, seeing how things kind of hold up, you know, line weights, you know, the right amount of black. I think I overcomplicated a lot of things when I first started, and now I've kind of scaled that back to just, you know, kind of rule of thirds, simplify shit, because at the end of the day, it's going to heal up and hold up a little bit better, I think.
What does the phrase honest tattooing mean to you?
I mean, doing right by your clients and doing right by tattooing, try to give, you know, as opposed to taking. Enough of that going on in the world. Try and give something back. Keep it above board, don't rip people off. I try to educate as best as I can with what knowledge I've, you know, acquiesced over the last 20 some odd years of being around it and in it. The one I always kind of referenced was a gal that wanted a portrait of Jesus inside of her ear because, you know, Jesus spoke to her, which, you know, I'm all for that. That's cool, but as a tattoo, it just wouldn't fundamentally work and look good and translate the way I think she thought in her head. So I tried to send her, you know, away with some knowledge as to why, instead of, you know, just full stop no, and just try and make, you know, help people on the path to making responsible decisions with their tattoos.
We have a caliber of tattooing that has to be maintained here. Attitude, first and foremost. Your tattoos can be your tattoos, but yeah, you know, again, going back to your clients, if I see this as a trade, technically they're your boss. Let's just collaborate together. So yeah, attitude, you got a piss poor attitude. You know, we all know where that gets you. Obviously, don't come to work stinking like a bum. If you outstink me, you're fired. A lot of the guys are going to be doing conventions. If they're doing conventions, then there's nobody here working the shop, so it's got to be a nice split of that, which would be myself or Dylan, just as owners. Those guys can go out and have fun and represent the shop that way.
Like, these guys really don't do a lot of conventions. I do a ton. Like, there are a lot of really good up-and-coming tattooers, so that's super cool. I mean, there's some shitty ones too, but that's in everything. For somebody that's willing to, you know, head down and work hard all day long, then that's rad, you know. There's others that just want to copy and paste. That just seems weird to me. I got into this to be an artist, not to be a Xerox machine. You know? So it's rad to see kids that are there drawing all day long and putting in the effort, actually painting by hand, stuff that's tactical that you can feel.
If someone wants to be a tattoo artist, what's something that they should really master before they pick up a machine?
Well, I'd first of all say don't. Go get a job that has fucking health benefits and paid vacation. I didn't even know paid vacations was shit until a few years ago. Now, if they're getting into it, draw and paint as much flash as you can, and then take that around to try and get your apprenticeship. And get a proper apprenticeship with like a tattooer that's been in the game for a while. Because like if I had an apprentice, all my connections from traveling the world and tattooing in different conventions, I pass along, you know. If you just learn from some tattoo school, you don't get that. You're missing out on one of the best things of being an apprentice. It's part of like that passing on the knowledge sort of thing. If you work hard and you're dedicated, they're gonna open up all sorts of, you know, it was that old, you know, that was part of the whole gatekeeping concept, was you got to earn your place in this community.
You know, nothing worthwhile is easy, so like, if it ever gets easy, I don't know if that's a good thing. It should be challenging constantly. It's good to have those challenges. So, you know, we got awesome clients. Like, we got the best clients in the world, to tell you the truth. Like, they know how the shop runs and they love it. So just keep those guys happy, and they'll keep us happy, and it's a fair trade.